it's black and it's lacquered. This was horrible to do. I bought a brand new gun because my old one was a bit dead. But anyway, it all went a bit wrong with new gun. You know, it was spraying okay. The epoxy coat I laid with one of my other old guns that I use for epoxy, and it laid off really nicely. It would appear I am quite good at laying epoxy, but not anything else. But it's not been polished. This is literally how it laid. I have only got one very light dusting of lacquer on this, which I did yesterday. There's dry spots in it, which I don't know if you can see actually, but there are various bits where it, yeah, you can see it. There's a line right the way through it. There's also, you can still see the remnants of a run that came down from here. I tried to flat it out, but it looks terrible. But that's how it is, unfortunately, because I've run out of weather and time. I have bodged the roof. You can see my quality filler, and it is bodged. All I've done with this was grind out the rot as much as I could get to, and I flooded it with Hydrate 80, and then I filled it with Sikaflex and let that go off, and then I have put some filler over the top, and you can see the filler because I can't fill. A very light dusting. The masking is a bit rough. I mean, that will blend in a bit. But again, I don't care. It now makes it watertight, which is important. You won't see it because I'm going to put the wind deflector back on. This is purely a bodge. I know it's a bodge. You know it's a bodge. That is a bodge. But this roof needs to go because it's quite rusty around the antenna. That is just currently full of, that was Hydrate 80 and the other stuff. What's it, Jotun? I know I've got to change the roof here, and it's gone in both corners. Well, they always go. So that is just for now, because, you know, again, this was supposed to be changing fuel pipes, not rebuilding half the bloody car. So when the roof gets changed, that won't be a problem anymore. But for now, it means I can use the car. Well, not right now, but eventually I'll be able to use the car and not worry about water coming into it or it corroding any further. So, you know, at least the corrosion's arrested, and the car will be watertight. Well, I mean, apart from the big hole where it leaks anyway, but it's supposed to do that. So, you know, it's already covered in dust and crap, but this wing, oh man, this wing has more dents in it than you would ever have thought imaginable. But the filler that I did up here, that's where I dented it getting it off, and I filled it. That's actually come out, for me, not too bad. Again, there's no point even attempting. It's orange peely as hell, but then so's the rest of the car, and I haven't painted that. There is no point in me painting or you know, flattening this back, because you'll just burn straight through the lacquer. It is one coat. But I just don't have the weather now. It's too cold, it's too damp. And it was too cold and damp and windy and wet when I blew this. There's still runs in it everywhere, but it is what it is. It isn't great, but I'm still hoping that at some point I can replace that wing, so I'm not too fussed about it. At least it's all epoxied, base coated and lacquered, even though the lacquer's very thin. But it will do for now. You know, maybe in the spring, maybe I might go mad and then flat this back and then re-lacquer it. Maybe. But I'm really not too arsed at the moment. I've never been that car proud. The bits you can't see sort of came out alright. I know this looks fairly horrible, because although I gave it a quick rough over with some 80 grit, all of this of course was brush painted. So again, it doesn't look perfect, but it's protected, and that's what it needs to be. Again, I can worry about all of the rest of that shit when the car gets restored properly, but at least on paper it shouldn't corrode now. Quite a lot has happened since I last recorded anything, because I couldn't be asked to record anything. I've been up here so sporadically, it's just been cracking on. So the roof worked out all right because, again, I've put the wind deflector on it, so you can't actually see the mess I have made of that. The paint is yeah. So the epoxy went on as usual, as did Dad's, really well. The base coat went on not too bad, although I had to do more base coat than I anticipated because reasons. I didn't film any of that because, I mean, you've seen it all before on that one, so it's, you know, who cares. The orange peel on it is not great. This has been 3 relatively brief blow-overs with lacquer. Hopefully just to give it enough meat so that that will flat back. There's some terrible runs in it. I don't know if you can see them, but yeah, there. Mainly because, yeah, again, as always seems to be the way when I'm painting a car, and I don't paint, I'm not a painter, but the weather, and it was blowing a gale, and that is just dust and shit. And of course it's actually picked up quite a lot of dust and crap in the lacquer because it was blowing a gale, so it's blown all the crap in. This is not the place to paint a car, even if you were good at paint, and I'm not. I do have some NOS rear lights, so that's nice. This wing actually came out all right. I'm not too upset with it. I mean, this bit looks shit. I don't care because obviously you can't see that. I actually just blew over the remains of the old Sikaflex. I'm not fussed because it's covered. I don't care. I still want to replace this wing at some point. Again, the orange peel is, yeah, well, it's orange peel, isn't it? You know, at some point this car will get stripped down to a bare shell again. And dipped and restored properly, but that is for later. So, you know, this is just to prevent it from dissolving until I get around to doing that. And if it means I can get a year or so out of it before I need to take it apart, then hopefully I can get everything I want in stock before I take it apart. And then I can just rattle on with it and get the engine and box rebuilt and, you know, do everything I want to do whilst the shell's being prepped. And then I will pay someone that knows what they're doing to paint the car properly, and, you know, get all the dings and dents. I mean, the doors, they're plastered in dents. I'm quite happy with, well, I'm not. So this door's a bit tight, but it always was. I think this door maybe wants to go forward a bit, although it closes quite nicely. The other door, the gap is a bit wider, but it's got a much tighter gap this end. But again, it's a BX, and, you know, the panel gaps on these are generally a bit crap anyway. But that is also something I can just dick about with when I restore the car properly and get all the panel gaps, even if not perfect. It's better than British Leyland manage, and I've not dicked about with the doors. This wing obviously is new, but the gap that this door has is the same. I spent ages trying to make the fit nice down here, and it kind of, it doesn't really fit there. And the reason it doesn't fit there is not the wing. I don't know if you can actually, if you can see, there's a bit of a crease there. The door actually kicks out, so that is why that panel, that gap that way is not perfect, because the door comes out. That's fixable. I have other doors if needs be, but, you know, that I think will, again, when it gets restored properly, I can fuck about with that and make that fit better. Oh god, finally into Bonder primer underneath. It looks very messy, and it looks very messy because I slapped it on. There's runs in it, there's brush strokes in it everywhere, and I'm okay with that because it means Bonder primer stuff doesn't really stick to it very well. If you lay it off really nicely, it can be a bit of a knob to get anything to stick to it. So with it really rough to start with, that's absolutely fine, because I can, you know, it's less effort than to rough it up a bit so that I can apply some seam sealer to where I want to seam seal everything, and then get it into what do you call it, that stuff, you know, paint, stone chip, that. So yeah, the hatch is back on. That was an absolute ball ache to do on your own. I've had to just insulate tape the little rubber bellows because I don't have any more that aren't wrecked. I used the last set I had on Dad's, which currently is here. That's off for MOT directly. I've not even looked it over, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It hasn't done a lot of mileage, and currently Dad's not driving it, so it can sit here. So that one, the old side pod, is about ready to fit. I've just got to remove the remains of the old Sikaflex, and I can bond that back on. This is this the original one? Yeah, this one's from the car, so that will go on this wing down here in a moment. The other one was a bit knackered, so I pulled this one. I've got this one. It was all shapes. I've left it out in the sun because that's what you do with these if you don't want to crack the paint. And it's come back into shape relatively well. It needs a bit more, but it's not sunny today, nor is it warm. So I will leave that one for another day. It needs cleaning up. It is dire, and all the back face. And I find generally, because they use double-sided tape, just a knife and just take it back to the metal without going too mad. And I usually do it from, put the knife in from the bottom edge, because there is a little lip on the top and it's quite easy to nick it. And although it's not particularly noticeable because of the kicking on the wing, if you can avoid damaging it, then so much the better, innit? Courtesy of my mate Merc, I have some genuine replacement front mud flaps, so they can go back on, because I'd wrecked mine. It's where the car sits down, and if it's in a divot, and my driveway is a bit of a divot because it's a what do you call it, stone chip shit, so you end up with little dimples where the tyres sit, and they ended up getting wrecked. I don't know where oh, there's the old one. I think I've shown you this already. So it was splitting because when it, and it's ripped the bottom edge off anyway, but it's, yeah, when the car sat down, it was bending the flap. So I'll have to do something with the driveway so that that doesn't happen. The hatch fits quite nicely. I've plumbed it all back in again. I didn't bother filming any of that because you know, I've done it all before on video, so who cares? Nobody wants to watch that shit. There's still quite a lot of car in the car. There's a lot of car over there still, but we are finally getting there with it. So it's a really short update, just because a lot's happened and I haven't filmed any of it. I did take some photos, so I'll stick them in about now. So the side pod for the near side of the car, I was going to clean these up and paint them red and do all sorts of stuff, but you know, the weather just isn't here to apply any more paint, and I need the car off the ramp. It needs to be finished, and although, you know, yeah, I could build the rest of it up and not put them on, it needs to be finished. So I am just for now going to Sikaflex this to this spat. This is the replacement spat. With a spat thing, whatever it is, yeah, side pod, because the original was in many pieces and full of filler. So that'll get glued together, and then I can glue that on the car. That also needs cleaning up because it's filthy, but it will polish okay. I'm pretty sure it's okay. So that's where we're at with it. You know, yeah, it's not great. I'm not a painter, so you know, I'm not unhappy with that finish. It's not I mean, in places it's almost as good as the original. In a lot of other places it's bloody terrible, but I think it will polish okay. You know, noir onyx, lovely. It's the greenest black I've ever shot. It's really, really greeny, which is weird because it's black, but green. So yeah, hopefully I can get some time upper in the week, and then get the fuel tank back in and run all the lines, and then get various other bits back on the car, the subframe back in, get it back on the wheels. That'd be nice. So yeah, hours and hours of work has gone into this, but I videoed none of it. So yeah, these are not actually stuck on, they're just held on with a little plastic thumb screw things, whatever they are, behind, and that was just for setting it all up, really. Also, it hides all the terrible paint behind, because I didn't really bother prepping any of that bit. You can't see it, it's covered. Again, the paint finish down is really terrible, but that's fine, because actually if you have a rough finish, your Sikaflex tends to stick better than if you've got a beautifully polished finish. Same with the paint. You know, if you've got a rough finish, it sticks to it better. So happy days. That will do. You can't see it, who cares? It shouldn't rust because it's absolutely plastered in epoxy and BXY or whatever that is, and lacquer and the remains of old paint and whatnot. And it started raining again. Brilliant. So yeah, it looks a little bit more like a car now, I think. So rather than waffling, I'm going to continue on, and then in the next one hopefully it will be a slightly more you know, happier update with it back on its wheels, maybe. So it's getting frightfully dark now, but there's the little trim the little trim piece that you can't see. I've employed a piece of cardboard. I've refitted the bumper very temporarily, just so I can put a piece of card in here, because I'm not using double-sided tape, which is instant, but I'm using Sikaflex, which in this weather is taking a while to go off. Just to stop it from sagging and then hitting the bumper, which you don't really want. A little bit of card between the bumper and the trim piece just to hold it up till that goes off, so that should be fine. This side, I mentioned before, the bumper was on the cock. I have made it better. It's not perfect, but it's as good as I'm going to get it. I'm still genuine Valio, new old stock. They look so good. I mean, you can't see it because it's really dark now. They look awesome. So yeah, I haven't put this trim piece in yet because it's well, it needs cleaning up, and it's really bent and out of shape. So tomorrow, when it's a bit lighter, I will employ a heat gun just to warm it so I can get it the shape I want, having cleaned it, because it is covered in farmyard. So I'll clean it up, warm it up, get it the shape I want it, leave the bumper on and do the same again, just glue it on, and then put a piece of cardboard in here just to stop it from hitting the bumper, because it has been. I don't know why I'm showing you any of this, it's pitch black now, isn't it? Oh, but that's that is the side pod on. I'm happy with the fit at the front, because it follows the line of the C-pillar trim, which it should. There's a slight step on the wing, always was, that's fine. It does overhang a bit at the back. Not really a lot I can do about that. It's just that this panel, ironically, I mean, it was before, it did overhang at the back, but I'll just fill it with a little bit of Sikaflex just to stop water getting in it more than anything. But yeah, it never did fit very well. That's the trouble with GRP stuff, it just doesn't. But you know, the swage line follows into the whale tail when it's closed. It's up there at the moment. So despite the fact that it's not a beautiful fit, it wasn't before. I suppose I could cut the back off and reshape it, but that's for another time. I'm not worrying about that right now. That one, which is also pitch black, but the mesh is, the Sikaflex is going off on that side pod, so that side pod can go on tomorrow. And in the interim, it's now very dark, and I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go home.